I love you, yes.
My dog Daisy's been a kind of a muse to me. My dog's very astute in terms of literary matters. There was one night I got a call from a company that had been my poetry publisher for several years, and they said, we've changed directions and we don't want to do your work anymore.
Did you want to go?
And I said, Daisy, Daddy's just lost his poetry publisher. What am I going to do? And she blew down the stairs and started typing on the keyboard of my computer. And I said, you want me to write more? And she looked at me as if to say, no. And I said, what do you want? And she started typing more, and I said, do you think I should send them out? And she looked at me as if to say, bingo. So I sent out the book, and within an hour, one manuscript was accepted, and another manuscript 2 hours later was also accepted, and that was Dog Days. Why the dog wags its tail? The simple answer is economy. Whenever a moment requires yes, whenever sunlight fills a bouncing ball, or a treat is offered as reward, or praise is worthy of the look he gives, good boy wants to dance inside. Dog Days is not about dogs per se. It's a book about the soul, about how we respond to those things that thrill us, that in fact give us that little connection with the divine for a moment. He desires the peace you find in souls. He wants your heart to find its God. So he sits because he knows you know the sound of wind when it is sleeping. Daisy just wants to be fed, she wants to be walked, she wants a nice place to lie down, have a sleep, and so forth. It's a very simple life, but it's a life that's really not trying to pursue things so much as it is a life that is living in the moment and in its own sense of happiness. Study him carefully. His tongue is out. It is tasting the universe as it all slides by. The dog wags because earth is moving, saves his energy for a leap of faith when it spins too fast and you must get off. He'll go first if you're afraid, and he'll stop at nothing to pull you free. He knows you better than you know your soul. He will not lose you if you lose yourself. Really? The teachers didn't think I was going to amount to anything. I spent most of my time either dreaming about hockey or looking out a window or writing poems in my notebook. And my mother was called up to the school by the guidance counselor, and they said, we want to put Bruce in the grade 10 terminal janitorial program. And my mother started laughing, and they said, oh, Mrs. Meyer, you shouldn't be laughing. This is something you should take very, very seriously. And she said, over my dead body. And they said, why? And she said, well, he's just finished reading Cymbeline. And the guidance counselor said, what's Cymbeline? And she says, that's why he's not going into the grade 10 terminal janitorial program. Welcome to my library. There's 15,000 books in here. I like to be able to work through the nights, and it's great to be able to find what I need. These are my books from about here down to this shelf here. My wife always claims that she knows where I am because I'm usually down here writing more books or using these, and she claims it keeps me out of mischief. My mother read to me when I was very young. She had a major influence on me very early on. Read me Wordsworth, read to me from John Drinkwater's anthologies in the afternoons before I had my nap. My father was an engineer, electrical engineer. He was one of the managers of Canadian Standards Association, the testing laboratories. And he got very angry at finding out that a lot of people were getting electrocuted because of the grammar problems that were in the codes and the standards. So he started to teach himself grammar, but in order to teach himself grammar, he taught my sister and I. And over dinner at night, he would read to us between courses at the dinner table from different grammar books until we had it drilled into us. I don't think he understood what I was doing in literature until one day when I was actually teaching at the U of T. He drove me down to the campus and he said, well, I'll wait for you and bring you back. And I said, well, come on in. And he sat there during one of my lectures on the great books. And when we came out, he says, I want to be one of your students. And he signed up for the course and took it. And it changed him. I think he became a man of literature. He eventually became my proofreader on a lot of my books because he had a wonderful sense of grammar. Well, my life's literature. I write poetry. I've published 30 books so far. I've got 5 more on the way. I'm continually, organizing literary events. I'm very active in the artistic community. I think that one of the roles of being a literary person is to be active in the literary community, not just to teach it, but to write it and to be an activist for it. This is the Hamlet Memorial bathroom. He died tragically. I write about the things I love, and I write a lot about my wife and my daughter, and about the times we spend together on Manitoulin Island, about the times that that have marked different milestones in our lives and so forth. The simple daily recognitions of the things we do, the domestic detail, and in a way that's the hardest story to try to tell. Everybody wants to have tragedy, everybody loves to have something gripping, and when I look at a lot of literature, I don't see myself there. I don't see the world around me, I don't see the world of my friends, my family and so forth, and my colleagues. What I want to write about is the world that we know now, because if you look at the great works of literature, they're all writing about the worlds that the authors have known in their own times, in the simple domestic details. So you want to cook something, eh? Okay. Okay. There you go. So what are we going to make?
Focaccia.
Focaccia, okay. Using the rosemary. In terms of happy families all looking the same, Leo Tolstoy said that each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. But what he didn't account for was what happens if you are happy. You see, a lot of literature is about unhappiness, and no one accounts for the people who are in the world who in some way are happy. That sense of happiness is what keeps us human. It's what, in fact, keeps us in touch with each other and communicating with each other. And in many ways, it's the force of Eros that keeps the world turning.
Are you happy?
I'm happy. My road to becoming a full-time professor at a place where I could, hang my academic hat and call home wasn't easy at all. I think I overwrote myself. I kept writing thinking that I would get hired and so forth. But also just to sort of make ends meet along the way. I ended up, for instance, one year teaching 28 courses, different courses. Another year I taught 6 days a week in 4 different cities. Another year I taught at 5 different institutions at once. It's not easy breaking in. Those years that I spent riding the buses, teaching 28 courses in a year were invaluable to me because they taught me that teaching's a dialogue between the instructor and the student. Hi, good afternoon. How are you? Hi, good. Yeah. So today we're doing Yeats. I'm not there to do a demonstration about how much I know or how I can blow them out of their seats with ideas. I'm there to make them stand up and say, aha, this is an idea that I want to sort of follow. This is something I want to keep thinking about. Oh, I hope so. I hope the guidance counselor was wrong. Every day I try to go into the classroom and prove the guidance counselor was wrong.